What if the financial system were rebuilt for the 21st century? You'd want it to operate 24/7, you'd want global access, you'd want instant settlement. And if you thought about it long enough, you'd probably conclude that blockchain was the right technology to use for that. The project I'm going to give an overview of today is aiming to do exactly that, and it's already succeeded in generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. I'm speaking, of course, about Hyperliquid. Now, this isn't the first time I've covered Hyperliquid on this channel. I've probably made a dozen videos about it at this point, but this video is going to be different. This is a comprehensive analysis of what Hyperliquid is, where it stands today, and most importantly, its strategic positioning for the future. If you're trying to understand whether Hyperliquid is still a compelling investment in 2026, or if its best days are behind it, this is exactly the video you need. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is Hyperliquid? At its core, Hyperliquid is three things. First, it's the leading perpetual futures DEX in crypto. You want to trade crypto derivatives without using a centralized exchange, then there's a good chance that you would conclude that Hyperliquid was the place to do it, as many users have before. It's where the plurality of volume happens. Second, it's its own layer 1 blockchain, which means it's not built on Ethereum or Solana or anything else. It's a standalone chain with its own validator set, and now its own set of ecosystem applications, hundreds of them. Third, and this is where it gets interesting, it has the eventual goal of becoming, quote, the blockchain to house all finance, a decentralized exchange for assets, not just crypto. That means commodities, equities, and more. That last part sounds ambitious, and it is, but here's the thing. They are already making real progress on it. We're going to talk about that later in this video. All right, let's talk numbers, because one of the things that I appreciate about Hyperliquid, and I think that many others do as well, is that they actually have real revenue to analyze here. They've generated hundreds of millions of dollars since launching, and here's what's really interesting. From July to December of 2025, Hyperliquid's market cap dropped about 60%, from $14 billion down to $6 billion. But here's the thing. There was an opportunity there because monthly revenue only dropped about 30% over that same period, from $90 million down to $60 million. And then in January, revenue actually grew again to $70 million, while market cap only rose to $7 billion. So what does this tell us? The market cap has been more volatile than the underlying business. And unlike many businesses in crypto, in Hyperliquid's case, their business is not necessarily contingent on the token that derives value from it. The actual revenue generating machine has been more resilient than the token price would suggest. And I think that disconnect is something that's worth paying attention to. For the first time in DeFi, we have businesses that can be assessed by their fundamentals and that you can actually make a value-based investment thesis on. Now, Hyperliquid also receives significant value from its layer 1 blockchain, separate from the perp DEX. If you look at the assets on chain, currently there are over $4.5 billion in stablecoins on the Hyperliquid layer 1 and over $1.5 billion in total value locked in Hyperliquid DeFi applications. There are over 100 applications live on the chain, some with hundreds of millions of dollars deposited. And here's a key point with that. Chains with similar metrics are worth billions of dollars on their own. So remember, we talked about Hyperliquid being potentially a value play just based on its perp DEX business. And then you throw in the fact that it has comps in the layer 1 space based on its fundamentals there. So now you're essentially getting two products in one token. All right, now let's talk market share, because one of the things to watch that I've mentioned in previous analysis of this project is whether they can hold up against competitive challenges in the perp DEX space. And one thing that I think makes their revenue more notable is that it's been relatively resilient despite serious challenges from competitors in the second half of 2025. The perp DEX space has gotten more competitive. You can see that across the numbers. You've got new entrants, you've got existing players improving their products, and many of these existing players are backed, or new players are backed by huge industry participants. And so Hyperliquid has had to defend its position. But in recent weeks, Hyperliquid's share of perp DEX volume has actually started to climb again, breaking 25% for the first time in months. And that's notable because it suggests that despite the competition, Hyperliquid is either holding its ground or gaining back ground that it lost when competitors were running airdrops programs. Then if you look at open interest, which is another way to measure the size of these platforms, volume is going to be based on activity, open interest is going to be based on liquidity, then Hyperliquid's market share has held steady at around 50% for months. 50% market share of perp DEX open interest is dominance. That's not a project that has lost its competitive position. By the way, I listed Hyperliquid as one of my top investments for 2026 in my Substack post last month before the recent price move. Check out the link in the description. And I actually created a valuation framework for Hyperliquid all the way back in 2024 that walks through how to think about the token's value relative to revenue. Moral of the story, if you want to learn about DeFi investments before they pump, check out my Substack at newsletter.dynamodefi.com. Next, let's talk unlocks. So last month in my video about Hyperliquid, I mentioned that unlocks were the main risk to Hyperliquid's price. Team tokens unlocking and potentially being sold were putting downward pressure on the price, and people were worried about how much selling there would be. Now here is an update. The situation seems to be improving. Unlocks were just reduced. Only 140,000 team tokens were unlocked this month compared to 1.2 million last month. That is a significant reduction in potential sell pressure and likely a amount of sell pressure that can be counteracted buybacks. So that doesn't mean unlocks are over, and you should still monitor this going forward to see whether they increase again. But it appears for now, at least, that the worst of the unlock pressure is decreasing, and it's a positive development for holders. Whenever there's some sort of risk that gets taken away, that's a positive development, especially if the other fundamentals look good. All right, so we've established that Hyperliquid is the leading perp DEX for digital assets, but where is the opportunity for the future? Because if it's already leading, how could it grow in the future? And if the market for DeFi perpetuals is saturated, or if Hyperliquid already has 25 to 50% market share, where exactly is that growth going to come from? I see three main opportunities, for how Hyperliquid could grow. Opportunity one is competing with centralized exchanges. Despite their growth, DEXs are still the small minority of crypto derivatives volume. The vast majority of crypto futures trading happens on centralized exchanges like Binance or Bybit. So there's still room for significant growth simply by taking more market share from centralized exchanges, even if Hyperliquid just maintains its share of DeFi exchanges. And with regulatory pressure on centralized exchanges increasing and a best-in-class product experience on Hyperliquid that's only getting better, I think this shift is likely to continue. The second opportunity would be to expand into non-crypto assets. And in fact, this is already happening. And I think this may be the most interesting, highest potential opportunity of the three. Recently, Hyperliquid's HIP-3 upgrade made new markets permissionless to launch. So what this means is that anyone with the resources can now deploy a perpetual futures market on Hyperliquid, and they don't need the team's permission or the team to be driving the process. And the result of this is that it's brought futures for assets like silver, gold, Nvidia stock, and the Japanese yen onto Hyperliquid. Some of these, most notably silver, have attracted billions of dollars in daily volume recently, and in fact become some of the most active markets on the entire platform. So think about what that means. People are trading silver futures on a decentralized exchange. That's a different user base and a much larger total addressable market than the typical crypto traders. Opportunity 3 would be Hyperliquid's upcoming expansion into prediction markets and other options. More recently, Hyperliquid announced their next expansion, which is prediction markets, binary options, and other options related projects. This is the upcoming HIP-4 upgrade, which will introduce prediction markets that settle in Hyperliquid's native USDH stablecoin, as well as other fully collateralized contracts that settle in a fixed range. Prediction markets are one of the most on-trend crypto use cases right now. Polymarket and Kalshi both command multi-billion-dollar valuations, and if Hyperliquid can become a dominant player on that front, like they have with derivatives, it could push their valuation significantly higher. Remember, we already talked about how their current valuation is a combination of their perp DEX business, their layer 1. Now you would be adding a prediction market business as well. There are some risks with this, however, so one thing that I'll be watching is whether any binary options products that Hyperliquid launches cannibalize their existing perp usage, or if they add net new users. If it's mostly the same users trading different products, that is fine, but it doesn't really expand the pie, and it's possible that options will be less profitable than running a derivatives business. If it brings in new users, on the other hand, who weren't trading perps before, that is a much bigger deal. By the way, if you want to try out Hyperliquid yourself, there's an affiliate link down in the description. Using that really helps the channel out. And if you're not sure how to get started, I created a Substack guide that walks through exactly how to use Hyperliquid, from depositing funds to placing your first trade. That's also linked in the video description. So let's bring this all together. Hyperliquid in 2026 is the dominant perp DEX, a growing layer 1 ecosystem, and increasingly a platform for trading non-crypto assets like silver. The revenue has been resilient even as the token price has been volatile, and market share has held steady or improved in recent months. Unlock pressure is decreasing, and the roadmap includes expansion into prediction markets and options. Is it without risk? Absolutely not. Crypto markets are highly unpredictable. Industry-wide volumes can drop along with market sentiment. Competition is fierce, and execution always matters, especially for a young project. But my opinion is that if one is looking for a protocol with real revenue and a clear competitive moat, as well as potential growth vectors in the future, Hyperliquid checks all of those boxes and remains one of the more compelling investments in DeFi. Remember, though, that this isn't financial advice, and you should still do your own research, which this video is hopefully helpful for, before you make any decisions for yourself. If you want more fundamentals-based crypto analysis like this, check out my Substack at newsletter.dynamodefi.com. I'm going to keep pushing that because I know the content is so good. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe so YouTube shows you more like it. Until next time, this is Dynamo DeFi.